Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we're going to have Alex. Alex is from London in the UK, but he lives in Canada. So let's see what Alex has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello, Alex.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm very well. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So
Excellent.
tell me, how's your weekend going so far?
Yes, it's going very well, thank you. It's actually very warm here, even though I'm wearing a sweater, a jumper, as we call it in England. I'm getting used to all the Canadianisms now that I'm living in Canada.
Really? And where are you from?
From London, grew up in London.
Oh my God, so you're from London, you live in Canada right now.
Yes, yes.
And why the change from London to Canada?
I was living in London all my life, and I married a Canadian lady, and we spent 14 years living together in England, and then we had a couple of kids, and decided that it would be a good time to move over before they got too old. It gets a little bit difficult, I think, once they hit a certain age to then move to like move a teenager, you know, it can be a
See.
bit tricky. So we thought we'd do it now.
And where are you based in Canada?
We're in Ottawa, which is the
Okay.
capital. Yeah.
Yes, I've been there before actually.
Oh, really? But for
Yeah.
business or pleasure?
No, my best friend, he's French, but he lives in Montreal.
Oh,
So I think the second time when I went to Canada, I go every year to visit my godson. His son's 7 year old. So I go every year, usually for his birthday. And the second time I went, we kind of explore Ottawa, we explore around that area in Canada. So yes, beautiful, beautiful city for sure.
yeah. I go to Montreal quite a lot actually. I go most of the work I do is in Montreal and Toronto.
I see. So tell me, what's the biggest joy of waking up in Ottawa every morning?
The biggest thing at Ottawa, well, the summer. The summers in Ottawa are really really nice. So like I don't know how long have you lived in England?
Most of my life, 20 years.
Okay. So I spent all my life in England, right? So I know the weather, but in England, it's always you might get a few nice weeks, really good weeks, like probably right now. I understand is quite warm, but
Yeah,
here you have like very cold or very hot, right? It's and in England it's just not like that, right? It's sort of somewhere in the middle most of the time.
totally.
Yeah.
And what do you do for work, for living, Alex?
So my whole life I've been an actor. So when I was a kid, I
Mhm.
started singing essentially in a children's choir, and then
Wow.
children's choir just coincidentally had really good connections with the English National Opera, the Royal Opera House, and the National Theatre. So I ended up just by
Wow.
chance, just by joining that particular children's choir and having the connections that they already had, it gave me the chance to audition for plays and operas and things like that. And so my whole childhood was doing plays and operas in the West End, which was crazy.
That's
Um,
amazing.
and
Wow.
then my whole career has followed on basically. I went to drama school, Guildford School of Acting,
Wow.
and carried on performing my whole life, basically.
That's amazing. When I was checking your Instagram page, you are a Formula One presenter as well. So tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, that I actually can't talk too much about that.
Okay.
I can't reveal certain information about that because it's an amazing job, and I've always loved Formula One. So a few years ago, I had the opportunity to audition, I guess, for a presenting role within Formula One. And so a part of my job is to travel the world with that job, and it's amazing. It's sort of a dream come true type of job. I love the sport. I love the energy and the excitement around it. And it's one of the greatest jobs I've ever had. But yeah, I can't talk too much about it.
That's okay. I understand. When I saw your phrase on TikTok on Instagram, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna ask him because I'm from Brazil, and of course, growing up in the 90s, Ayrton Senna was the biggest idol, not just Brazil, but the whole world at the time. So Formula One, for me, it's always a connection with Ayrton Senna, and as a big fan and everything. So when I saw your phrase there, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna ask a little bit about Formula One for him.
Well, I love Ayrton Senna, and I visited Sao Paulo in 2010 on
Huh?
a holiday or vacation, as we call it in Canada, and I made a point of going to visit his grave. and it's
Wow,
and
that's
it's in a
incredible.
pub. It's not in a cemetery. I think it's just in a park. It's like just his gravestone in a park, and anyone can go and see it. So I did, and actually, that should have been the photo that I actually have a different photo to talk about later. But that should have actually, now that I think about it, maybe that should have been the photo. But yeah.
Yes, I think, and his sister Vivian Senna, she's the one who carry on his legacy. So she opened like a charity place where helping children and under his name. And I think his legacy. I think we can ask anyone about Ayrton Senna in Brazil, even this younger generation, they know who he is. And I think he left so young. My God, so young, he was gone, but he left his name, his legacy to the world to contemplate. His movie Senna, oh my God, was one of the best movies. Like the resilience, for him, like my God, he was literally any other person would think that he lost, but no, he made the thing happen, and he became the Formula One winner at the time. So yeah,
His,
amazing.
his his story is an amazing story because
Yeah,
obviously arguably the most talented driver of all time, but you realize that actually he had to fight so hard to get to where he was because talent isn't always just enough, and that's a really good example of that, right?
yeah,
Like fighting his family, first and foremost.
100%. Yeah, I think it's that's why they leave the legacy, because it's not just about that what they're doing. It's a lot of things behind, and the whole work behind the scene that get them to where they are. So that's very inspiring for sure.
Yeah.
Alex, so in the beginning of the interview, I always ask my guests on the show to bring something that means a lot to them. So that could be a picture, could be a gift, could be an object. Is there anything you could share with us?
Yeah, I did actually. I know I was just talking about the children's choir I joined and the opportunities that it gave me. And when I was doing these shows when I was younger, my mum kept an album of like newspaper cuttings, pictures, all the programs from the shows that I was in. And I just opened the first page of this album, and I saw like firstly this picture.
Oh my God, that's you.
So that's
Oh,
me. That's me in my first ever professional production.
sweet. I can see,
Yeah,
yes.
and I was playing a character called Portley in Wind in the Willows.
Oh,
And I look a bit chubby because I was wearing a fat suit. So my first ever role, they gave me a fat suit. And that's why I've got quite a big tummy there. But that was and I got a tail. I don't know if you can see the tail for the look.
oh, I can now I can see now. Now I can see, yes. I thought it was a chair. Oh no, okay.
So
Yes,
it doesn't want to focus.
yeah.
Anyway, there's a tail there, because I was playing an otter. But also with that, I also might not be able to see. Um,
Just
oh, here we
yeah.
are.
Now I can see.
So that's the
What's
letter.
that?
So that's the letter that I got from the National Theatre, inviting me
Wow.
to telling me I'd got the role. So it
Oh, that's
said,
so sweet. Can you show the pic?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I can show you the picture again now. Now that
Yes. Now I can see properly. Now I see.
the tail is
Amazing. Oh my
tail is just down
God.
here. Look. Yeah.
Yes.
So that sort of means a lot to me because it was my first ever professional um, job. and it was at the National Theatre. And in a strange way, I don't know if my career's ever got better than that. It was
I'm
it was
sure it
like
did.
it was a dream job, and it really was like anyone I don't like anyone who saw that production. It was in 1993.
Wow.
I don't know if you've ever seen anything at the Olivier at the National, but it has this revolve, this drum that the whole stage can turn. And it has this massive drum that is used for most things. But they just the way they used it was so beautiful, and it
I
was just an
love
amazing, amazing first experience that probably I don't know if I'll ever top.
Yeah, I think those first job as we do as our professional career is always gonna be the one. You know what I mean? The first one always gonna be that one that leaves a mark in our lives. Amazing. Thanks for sharing. I know it's very personal. Thank you.
That's all right. A pleasure.
Alex, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through memories in life and share your point of views?
Sure. That's why we're here.
Amazing.
Through the magic
Welcome.
box. Yeah.
Welcome to Ilian and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Of random fun questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just gonna play a song just for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Mm.
Let's do it. All right, before I start the interview, during the journey, if it comes up a question that maybe you don't want to talk about or you don't want to answer, always can take another one, okay?
Yeah.
Amazing. First question is there a moment you think of that you made you realize, sorry, let me repeat again. Is there a moment you think of that made you realize you've done it and you've made it in life?
Oh, that is a good question. Is there a moment? Um, yeah, actually, I think it's personal. I think it's to do with kids. I think there's some times when having kids is hard, but there's always those times when they're like playing happily together or something really simple, and you just look around and you go, like uh, I think this is it.
Wow,
I think this is what it's about. Certainly, like personally, I would say that
wow.
feels like the time when like it's just the families all together and getting on, and happy and playing, and that I think those are the moments when you think, yeah, you just take a step back and go, yeah, I think this is it actually. Yeah.
Wow. What's the biggest joy of being a dad?
Just being able to do things together and spend time together. And,
Hmm.
just this morning, well, this is a fresh haircut from today, actually. But
Wow,
like I took my son, he sits in the chair next to me, I sit next to him, we have our
oh,
haircut together. And like I think
sweet.
it's actually, do you know what I think it is? I think it's finding what they like to do and
Yeah,
supporting them, taking them to those things. Because you taking them, you're obviously helping them, you're obviously a taxi driver, but you're also sharing their joy, but because they're getting
totally.
a lot out of it, and so are you by seeing them happy. Yeah.
And so far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from them?
From them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is a difficult one. I think the lesson I learned from them is that they have like a level of wisdom that is valuable, but
Hmm.
from obviously significantly less life experience, but they sometimes still say things, and you're like, well, actually, I think that you got a point.
100%. I
Yeah.
think we always learn with children. I think sometimes they say things or they mention things that you go like, my God, I never thought about that before this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there is a different way of them to express themselves, and you go like, wow, that's incredible. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Actually,
great.
a specific example comes to mind actually when my son was about 3 or 4, and I put the bath. I ran a bath for him, and I felt it, and I to me it felt cold. And I was thinking, why would you want a cold bath? It seems like a strange thing to do. Um, and I said, this is cold, and he said, no, this is hot. And I said, this is no, this is cold. And he said, yeah, but it's hot to me.
Wow.
And I was like, that's quite philosophical because you can't really argue with that, right?
I love that. I love that, Alex. That's amazing. You see, and sometimes it's just a natural reaction from them that you go like learning every day with children, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes you suddenly realize that, like obviously, as an adult, everyone experiences life in a totally different way. But with a child, you somehow think, oh no, actually, I know better because I'm older. And then actually in that moment, you're like, okay, well, if you have a different sensitivity to temperature, then fair enough.
You know what? Your child will learn a lesson that for me took years to learn. Like, for example, if I remember, like as a teenager or I start being an adult, I remember, for example, if you told me that your not shirt, your jumper that you are wearing right now, it's white. Sorry, if you'd say, so William, my jumper, it's black, but I can tell that it's white. But if you tell that time, I would say no. I would spend hours and hours try to explain to you that no, it's white your jumper, but say no, it's black. And nowadays, if you tell me it's black, I know that's white. But if you believe it, that's it. You know what I mean? So that's what your son said. It's hot for me. He nailed years of therapy that maybe you know what I mean? You can learn. I love that. I love so
Yeah,
yeah, learn children every day. It's a great
yeah,
thing. Wow, amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Next question.
Sure.
Hey, Alex. Next question is: who is your biggest idol, and what have you learned with this person?
That's a good question. In some ways, it's really well, actually, for everyone, it's different for everyone, of course, as we've just established. But I think really, it's as cliched as it sounds, it's my parents because you don't realize at the time, but what you are taking in is a way of living, a tempo of living, a style of living, like that seems normal to you, but in a way, your parents are showing you one way of living, and there are other ways of living, but you don't have that choice. And it's only when you're older that you can sit back and you sort of think, was that the best way? It doesn't really matter, it's happened anyway, but like, is that the way I want to parent my children or not? And 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 looking back, I think they got a lot of things right, and I think I look up to them in terms of how the respect that they the love and the respect that they showed me,
Mhm.
and that's what I try and do with my kids as well, as much as I can. And so I think I look up to them for just doing the best they could,
Well,
and I think they did a very good job. So I think my parents really.
okay, so both of them they're watching this interview right now and have a moment and opportunity to send them a message. What would you say? They're watching.
Thank you for everything, for taxiing me around, for letting me go into show business when it's as a child, it's not always you might not always want to put your child into show business. And I think there was some sacrifices that for sure that they had to make,
Wow.
not just time commitment, but like psychologically for themselves in terms of do I want to let him take this seriously?
Wow.
And so I'm glad they did because at that age, if your parent decides I'm not letting you do this as a professionally, then that's it. You have to find something else, right? You really, unless you're going to find a way to do it, pursue it yourself. So I'm very thankful that they let me do that, and not just let me, but obviously supported me in every way that they could. So yeah, thanks to them for that. Yeah.
Beautiful, Alex. I think, in the show business, I think having your parents support you as very young age, it's a big plus because, as you know very well, most of the time they think that's not a career, it's not a serious career, and sometimes it can compress you, can make you feel like, I'm not sure. But when you have supporting parents like you did, you still do, I think it's amazing. It's just, you feel safe, you feel like you can just go for it because they're going to be there for you. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I think obviously I had some natural ability as a child, but also I do
Of course.
remember my parents taking me to see lots of shows. And I think and I guess somewhere in the back of my mind that made me, obviously I could have gone to those shows and not enjoyed them at all, but I guess that influenced me somewhat, so that when I found that I actually had some ability in that world, that
Yeah.
it was probably that probably helped. So I'm glad they took me to experience that, uh, as well. But I came very close to being a professional ice skater. Strangely enough.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I was doing ice skating every single morning, like 6 a.m. My mum would take me. And then it got to a point where I had to decide between ice skating or performing. Um, and actually they're very closely linked. They are both acting, performing jobs. So
100%. And you're in Canada. Ice skating in Canada is very popular, so you're in the right place.
yeah. Actually, I haven't got my kids into it yet. My kids into football, so soccer. Uh,
I see.
so I haven't had
Amazing.
time to get him into to ice skating just yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
next question. Let's do it. Okay, so before the next question, what's the biggest joy of acting? What do you like the most about it?
Ooh, I like the lots of things about it. I like the working with new people. You always get to meet new performers.
Mhm.
Sometimes you might get lucky, the chance to work with someone twice, but very rarely more than that. So I love that. So through that, I've ended up getting a lot of friends who live in different places around the world, because of that. I spent a year on a cruise ship in 2004 or five. So I met lots of people from all over the world at that point.
Yep.
Um, I love I love that how different it can be, whether you're on stage or if you're on film or TV. I just I just love the variety of that. And there's something very disciplined about a theatre job where you're doing the same thing every single night,
Right.
compared to film and TV where you learn all these lines, and at the end of that shoot you never ever say those lines ever again. And it couldn't be any different of an experience, because in theatre you rehearse for a week, anywhere from a week to 6 weeks, right? The rehearsal period could be. And the film and TV, you unless it's a huge budget production, you're probably rehearsing just for once or twice on set when you get there. Maybe not even that. And I just love the variety of it. And you drive to set and you don't quite know. There's that feeling of um, excitement that you don't quite know how this is going to go. It's you don't know the people, you don't know the director, you don't know the set that you're going to work in. It's very different. And whereas if you're doing a play for a year or a musical for a year, you can turn up and you can almost potentially do it in your sleep, right? You shouldn't be, but I mean you could, and it's totally the opposite of being on film and TV. So I love that. I love the variety, and I love the challenge of that side of it for sure.
I see. Okay. Next question for you is, what's the best and the worst of being yourself?
Oh, that's very deep. What's the best? What do you mean? Like what do I think's the best part
About
of?
being you. Yeah, about being you. What's your personality that you think is the best traits, and what's something, or maybe the worst about being you, something that maybe you fight against it, or you work on it, or it could be anything.
Oh, that's a very good question. It could take some serious thinking, but let's see if I can. I think the best. I think the best part about me is that I'm quite steady emotionally. I don't I very rarely have huge highs or massive lows. I think anyone who knows me would probably agree with that. I'm relatively stable in terms of emotionally. I don't know why. It's just I think it's just who I am. So I tend not to have too many highs and too many lows. And I think that helps me as an actor because if you ride the highs and the lows, you're gonna lose your mind. And you're not gonna want to do it for much longer. So I think that trait is a good trait, mate, personally and professionally.
Amazing.
Um, what traits do I not like? Um, I can get quite frustrated with really like fixated on something very small that shouldn't really be a problem, but then is a problem. And like so I can get quite frustrated with the small things, whereas the bigger things, for example, I got married after 7 months of knowing my wife. That was fine, no issues there. I moved countries to Canada, no issues there. But like right now, for example, if you want a real example of this, I've got this microphone I've just bought, which you can't this DJI microphone, which plugs into my computer. Really, this in fact, this is the first time I've used this microphone ever. So hopefully it's working. And I know this is a very specific example, but I've got an iPhone that has the US, not the late. I've got an iPhone 13, so one of the older ones, right? And the microphone thing I bought fits into only the newer ones. So I had to buy.
Oh,
So it was not a big issue. You just buy a connecting thing that connects
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So I went to the actual store, bought a connecting thing that it said would fit, and it's the wrong product. It basically doesn't fit at all. So this morning I was like just very, very angry
I
about
know.
about this situation.
It's so interesting because those things in technology, I'm the same as well. I'm very easygoing, but this technology thing sometimes can trick us because it's some things can be so simple, but at the same time as well, it can become a headache. I get your point.
Yeah, and like the whole like obviously a lot of the acting world is self tapes now, right? So
Yeah.
I'm always self taping, and I'm building up my equipment for that, right? So I've got some lights. The lights are fine. Happy with that. I'm using my iPhone. Not great. I want to get a better camera. I've been using the sound from my iPhone. Also not great at all. So that's why I bought this microphone that I'm using now, which seems to be working with my computer, but not on my phone. So I'll have to work that out. Um, I can't remember what my point was.
How about you? Sometimes you're so easygoing, but sometimes this little thing can trigger you.
Yeah,
Yeah, about being
yeah,
you. I
yeah.
see. Again. Okay. 3 questions left. Let's do it. Okay, Alex, from Canada or from London? Both.
From London, from London.
Next question is, usually, what is the first thing that you think about when you wake up?
Hmm. I've never been asked that before. And I don't I don't think I really know, I don't think I really know the answer to that. I think
Usually, there's like a routine or a morning routine that somehow these thoughts comes to your mind, like usually.
yeah, usually it is when am I going to find time for a workout?
Hmm. Good
That's going
one.
to and I've got to try and fit that around because I'm self-employed. I'm a freelancer. So in a way it could be any time, but also in another way there's still a structure to the day.
Right.
And I feel like once it gets past, I don't want to be working out in the evening. I just don't. So I want to try and get the workout done in the morning, But I also know that sleep is very important. So
The
so
balance.
I'm not sacrificing the sleep, but I also still need to find time to do it. So that is often my first thought.
Do you consider yourself to be more of a day or a night person?
Not morning. Not morning. Let's go with day, or let's go with day and night.
Okay, I
Yeah.
see. What's the meaning of life for you when you think about life, Alex?
I think as I get older,
Mhm.
and I'm in my 40s now. Even though I've just had this fresh haircut that maybe knocks a few years off, I I think it's trying to make the best out of any situation as best you can, because I think the answer might be just perspective.
Okay.
Because you can look at any situation and you can go, okay, there's a positive here, and there's a negative here, and I think it's about which one you focus on, and that's a sort of a bit of a stoic concept
Yeah.
maybe, but like as I've got older, I've got into stoicism a little bit, just very gently into stoicism because I think I can relate to it somewhat. Maybe it's to do with like just my personality, but I feel like I'm quite stoic in some ways, and just sort of be able to weather the storm most of the time. And obviously there's moments of panic in life, like everyone had it with trying to be a parent and trying to have a career and trying to do that. I think I think I think yeah, having perspective on things, finding some sort of balance, and also trying to zone in on priorities, right?
Wow.
Because there is time for everything, but only the things that you consider a priority.
Aging for you is something that bothers you, or you just see as a matter of life?
Um, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't
Hmm.
bother me. Um, but I don't like going grey, so I'm gonna keep dyeing my hair. Not right now. I just had it cut, so right now it reveals all the grey. But I can't accept going grey.
I love my gray. I love my gray beard. The only thing I don't like my gray, it's here when it gets gray. Just this part here, I
Yes.
don't like it because here is a lot, and here there's not much. But trimmed as well. I feel great. But I like my gray beard. I could dye as well, but I like it. I like my gray. It feels like
It suits
wisdom.
you. Yeah, the grey in the beard suits you.
I
But
like it.
I know what you mean about here. Like this
I
morning.
don't I don't like here. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
It
know. It
makes me
annoys me.
Yeah, it makes me look like a badger or an owl.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, so they say silver fox, don't they? So maybe a fox. But
See. And what's your star sign astrology, Alex?
Cancerian.
Cancer. Okay. See. Two
Yeah.
questions left. Let's do it. Okay, before the next question, let's do a little game. So let's pretend that you got in your hands the biggest budget. So for you, money is not a problem. You're gonna put together a play or a short movie or a scene, could be anything. You're gonna be on it as well, yeah? And you can cast anyone to play your mom on this project. You can cast any other to play your dad as well. Your love interest, a romantic partner, and also the big boss, like the producer or the director, to help you to put this project together. So tell me those names.
Okay. Well, the ones that jumped to mind was Helen Mirren,
Wow.
would be a good mum for me.
Okay.
Um, my dad would have to be. Have you ever seen Schitt's Creek?
No, I don't think so.
Eugene Levy. You know Eugene Levy. He's American Pie. He's the dad from American Pie.
Okay, I got it. Yes, I know who he
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Actually, you got something as well, like your look. There's something
Yes.
connected.
Yes,
Wow.
I think he would be a good dad
Wow.
for
Okay,
me.
your love interest?
Um, oh, Anna de Armas. Anna de
Okay,
Armas. Yeah, she'd be a good love interest. She's quite a leading lady.
okay.
Uh,
And the big boss now to help you to put all together.
well, as I've just seen it there, Daniel Craig.
Wow, he's gonna be wow. Okay, so now the question is gonna be a bit tougher now.
Okay, let's go.
One day you're gonna wake up in the morning having four missed calls on your phone from those four names just mentioned right now. You're just gonna call back one straight away, just one of them you can call back straight away. One of them you're gonna send a message, I'll call you back later. And the other two, you just ignore them for now. I know it's a mean question.
So what are the options? Two of them ignore. One of them say I'll call you later, and the other one pick up.
Straight away you call back straight away.
Um, Call back straight away, Eugene Levy, because he had an amazing career, and also um, Catherine, Canadian legend, um, the one from Home Alone, the mum from Home Alone,
She passed away. She passed away a
passed
couple of
away.
years.
Yes, she was in the lead in Schitt's Creek as well with Eugene Levy. They played husband and wife,
I see.
and so I'd love to speak to him because he's funny, and find out about what it was like working with her,
Wow.
because she's a Canadian TV legend.
I
And
didn't know that. I didn't know
worldwide,
she was Canadian. I didn't know she was Canadian.
yeah, she's Canadian. Yeah, not just Canadian. Obviously, she's worldwide famous from many movies.
Wow. Which one you gonna send a message? I'll call you back later.
Daniel Craig,
Wow.
because for me, James Bond is my dream role, which I'm probably a little bit past it now and not famous enough. But you never know. You got to have a dream.
Never know. Absolutely. Never
You never
know.
know. It's worth dreaming. Um,
100%.
so Daniel Craig, because he reinvented Bond, I
I
think,
can
really.
I can't believe you just ignore a Helen Mirren now. I can't believe.
I know.
I'm
I know.
joking. My fault. I take the blame. I put in the spot.
But I think if I ever, in my mind, I think whoever plays Bond next, you can't play it like Daniel Craig. It has to be totally different.
100%. 100%.
It might not be, but I think it should be.
Should be.
So
Sure.
I would if I was Bond, I'd want to play it more Roger Moore. Bring back
Wow.
the Roger Moore style. But I mean, it was very of its time, wasn't it? But you know,
Let's see. Let's hope.
yeah.
Please. Okay, next question is, if you could talk to one historical figure, who that would be?
Oh. From any time in history.
Yeah,
Oh, it'll be Ayrton Senna.
good one, actually. Wow. Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
And if you could ask him one question, what that would be? Just one question for Ayrton Senna.
Um, well, he's answered a lot of questions in interviews. He actually was one of the few drivers who spoke um about things in a way that other drivers wouldn't do. So he talked about God. He talked about his belief in God, and there was drivers just would not, even if they believed in God, they wouldn't talk about it. So,
I see.
and I think that's what makes him the greatest of
Different.
all time, is that he was not only obviously unbelievably good on the track, but he was able to talk about this. And he said, the things he would say was mesmerizing. If you've seen the documentary, like the way he would conduct himself, he wore his heart on his sleeve, right? He was so passionate
Yeah,
about life and about things being, I don't want to use the word fair. It's not a great word, especially when my children tell me something's not fair. But like, you could tell when if he felt like something wasn't fair, he had a certain way of talking about it and dealing with it. And you could see that he was very conflicted between being a good person, which he really was, but also being an elite athlete, which in a sport where, you know, you have to play the politics, you have to play some element of mind games.
100%.
You just have to.
Yeah,
So that was, I think, what made him so so fascinating. And I guess what would I ask him? I really don't know. Maybe just what the highlight was for him, maybe,
And
because there
good
was
one.
some unbelievable moments in his many unbelievable moments in his career, and I think I'd like to hear from him what he thought the highlights were,
Wow.
because interestingly, if in the documentary and in interviews, he says that racing wise, it was actually the karting days of his
Yeah.
career that he
Yes.
actually enjoyed the most.
100%.
Um, yeah, I find that very interesting.
It's so interesting because I've seen some interviews of him and talking. There's something he says that I took from me. He says, "Whatever meant to be for you, it find a way to get to you. It might take time, it might take, but whatever meant to be, whatever it will be, it will find a way to meet you. It will chase you." I love that. That's something I got from him, like watching his interviews, and it's great. It's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing.
his level of belief and confidence, and just there's a lot you can take from his journey and his story for sure.
Fun enough, the movie and documentary they show one of his lover, like girlfriend, Xuxa, the blonde one, and she's very famous in Brazil. They're very famous. They're like the perfect couple. Fun enough, I'm a big fan of her. I'm playing her music right now.
Oh,
Xuxa,
right.
yeah, I'm a big fan of her. And
There you go.
I remember I was in London, and when the movie came out, Senna, and I went to see the cinema to watch it. And when they showed her with him, I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe they're showing Shusha here in London!" Like, I'm a big fan of her, and she was the love of his life. They literally had this great connections. They didn't need each other fame because both of them they were like, of course, he was much bigger. He was worldwide, and she was like big in South America, whole Brazil, and so they match really well together. And she still talk about him. Actually, it's beautiful to see. Anyway, fun
Yeah.
fact. Yes, I'm a big fan of her, Shusha.
Yeah. She was the TV presenter, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, for children, and I grew up with her, watching every day.
Oh,
That's why.
right. Okay.
Yeah, the whole our actually, I'm going to Brazil in 2 weeks' time, and she's doing this last tour during that time when she was working for kids, and oh, I can't wait. I've been waiting 35 years of my life for this moment, and
Oh,
it's gonna happen.
really?
Yeah, I can't wait to get there and
Oh,
see
wow.
her.
Well, enjoy that. Enjoy
Yeah,
that.
amazing. Last question. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Last one. But before the last question, as you are living in Canada now, how long have you been living there for so far?
1 year.
1 year. So tell me, so far during this 1 year, and of course having your wife from Canada, um, what's the biggest difference between the British and the Canadian culture so far, based on your experience? And what's the biggest similarity?
There's less roundabouts here.
Okay.
No, that's not really a cultural thing. Um, what's the biggest difference and what's the biggest similarity? Well, I was going to say the weather, but that's not really a That's not really culture, is it? That's just the weather.
About personality, about people, based on your routine, daily routine, something that you just picture
Yeah.
something like a fun fact or something.
Um, well, they say that Canadians are very polite, and I think I have found that largely to be the case.
Okay.
But also, there's a stereotype about British people being very polite, and I mean, it's just a generalization, isn't it? Not every British
Yeah,
person's polite, not every Canadian person's polite. It's just,
I know.
but
It's just a concept that people think. I get it.
yeah, I think it's relatively easy for a British person to move to Canada or for a Canadian person to move to England. I think there's some similarity in the a little bit of sense of humor, somewhat. Um, Certainly with my wife anyway. So I found that her, her sense of humor fitted in quite well in England. And you're not from England, right? You were born in
No, from
Brazil.
Brazil. From Brazil, yeah.
Yeah. So it's, you've experienced the culture of one country to another as well. And
Yeah.
I, I know this isn't this interview has actually been quite a lot about Brazil, funnily enough, because of Ayrton Senna. But when I was in Brazil, in 2010 on holiday, um, even in like a week or two, I could notice just a way of communicating that was different to England, right? Whereas in Canada, it feels quite similar, and in
Right.
Brazil, it feels like there's a different way of communicating. It's a more direct.
Yeah, it's more like we talk with our hands. We are very expressive. We have this warmth about, they say that after 10 minutes talk to a Brazilian Brazil, you become best friends. You know what I mean? They're gonna invite you to their wedding. They're gonna invite you, but it's true. It's true actually.
Yeah.
It's very there's this thing about it.
I was on set filming an advert recently in Montreal, and they were all talking in French. And I didn't, and I obviously I've done other work in Montreal where they speak in English, but the whole film set was talking in French, and then so the director would come up to me and start talking, and he didn't know that he didn't speak French. Yeah, it was an advert, so it wasn't like lots of lines or
Right.
much. We were sitting at a table essentially eating, um, but he came up and then I said, "I'm really sorry. I don't speak French. I do know a little bit of French, but like not enough to take direction. I didn't just want to sit there and nod and then be like, and then he leaves and I'm like, does anyone know what he just said? Because I didn't want to, I didn't want to do that. So I just like, I'm sorry, I don't. But yeah, that was culturally, obviously, you wouldn't have that in England. Everyone's going to speak English on a film set in England. So
100%. I
so that
see.
was
Okay.
quite, yeah.
All right. Last question is, if you could meet yourself when you were 15-year old again, what would you say?
If I
Or
could
with
meet,
a Okay, let me repeat the question again. If you could meet yourself when you were 15 years old again, which advice would you give to yourself?
Hmm. um, what advice would you give to yourself? I think you sort of just it's easy to say, oh, everything will be okay, don't worry about it, it will all work out. But that you don't know that, and also telling a teenager that isn't necessarily really going to mean anything or help. Um, so I think I would say just um, yeah, find a way to do what you love
Hmm.
um, as much as you can.
Good
Uh,
one.
that I think that's what I'd say. And surround yourself with as much as you can with people who will help you or will support you. And
Wow.
look, not everyone is right. You don't choose which family you're born into. You don't choose how supportive or unsupportive your friends or parents are going to be.
Yeah.
Um, and maybe I was just lucky, but so I guess if you're around people who aren't supportive of you, and they're your family, that is a that there is no easy fix for that situation, right? That there just isn't.
Yeah.
So I guess just find a way to still be able to be with those people, but also to try and do what you want to do. I guess that's
Amazing. Right, on the end yet, let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to say some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Big thinking, okay? One word for money.
um, choice.
Fear.
Um, uh, being brave,
Family.
love,
Life.
challenge.
One word for love.
One word for love?
Yeah?
What do you mean?
Love. One word.
Um, safety.
Politics.
Um, avoid.
Okay? Sex.
Um, trust,
Religion.
Complicated.
Regret.
Um, Unavoidable.
Desire.
Passion.
Friendship.
Important.
Success.
Success.
Yeah.
Um, Relative.
Wish.
Wish.
Yeah.
Um, Possibility.
Happiness.
Family.
One word for London.
London. Fun.
One word for Canada.
Sensible.
Like it. And the last one, acting. One word.
Acting. Um, Dreams.
Actually, one more. One word for Formula One.
Oh, one word for Formula One. Um, Drama.
Wow. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your wife for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your wife, define Alex in one positive and one negative word only. What she would say about you?
I actually don't know, but given that I have to say something and she's not here, um, I'm eccentric,
Okay.
um, reliable.
Okay. When this interview goes live, when you get to this point, you pause it to see her answer.
Yeah.
After you play again. I love it. Let's play now, Alex, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, Alex, you can ask me a question now.
So what is your why? You know what I mean?
My why? Wow, great question. Wow, you put me in spots. I love it. What's my why? You know what? I literally, I'm a firm believer about things that, for example, as I mentioned before, whatever meant to be for you, it's gonna happen to you. I'm very positive. I have this mindset of willpower. So I always, I have this personality of being positive or being perseverant or consistent. I have that. Always have. But sometimes I have this why, like, I consider myself a spiritual person as well. But sometimes time to time, I ask myself, why is that? Why I have this feeling of doing things, or have this personality which brings me. I feel great, and when I ask that, not just because I'm feeling tired or anything, just sometimes it comes to my mind. Where does come from this? What comes from this way of my personality, or the way I see things, or I believe, or why is that? Why do I have that? So it's okay. It's questioning myself. It's questioning myself. Why is that? Why I have these feelings, or this perseverance, or these mindsets. So time to time I ask that, not in a bad way. I just as a question, where it comes from. This, of course, it's based maybe the way I've been brought up, or situations in my life. All of that builds things. I get that, but sometimes I question myself. Why is that? Why I want to achieve this? It's something that I feel like I'm going the right direction, but at the same time as well, why is that? If you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why it comes from? Where these feelings or this situation or those makes me pursue this way, why I have this personality. So time to time it comes to my mind, just wonder. I think I wonder about myself and try to understand about more about living life, or the meaning of it, or why I have this way of thinking, and it's not a bad thing. I just feel great, and I feel great the way I think, and I love the way and I make mistakes every day like anyone else, and I know that. But at the same time as well, I have this why question. It comes and goes, time to time, and just come and just go as well. And you ask me that now, it just made me realize that and think about it again. So yeah, that's my genuine answer for you.
Nice. Good answer.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Yes, I did. I did.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for being so kind and accepting the invitation. I love to have passionate people here on the show. I'm glad we connect this time of your life that suddenly you just left England and you are, so far away, and you are, based on your personal life, your children, your wife, of course. And I think that sometimes is life talking to us, life, presenting us situations, opportunities, and I understand your point. I've been most of my life living abroad, and I think it's a gift. I see as a gift, as an opportunity that, I think it's hard sometimes, leaving our loved ones so far away, not easy. However, it feels great for you to be living away on a place where you feel welcome or you have your loved ones around. So I get you. I'm so glad that we connected, and somehow you are living a life, away from your roots. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, look, it's a big adventure, but I think it's having the opportunity to live in a different country is I think if you can do it, it's an amazing experience.
100%, 100%. You just learn. You just grow a better person. You just become more understanding about things in life. So I get it very well. And before you go, if you can share a positive message, a positive quote, or anything that you live by.
Yeah, actually, funnily enough, I mentioned it just a few minutes ago because it was on my mind because I was going to ask you, but I'm just gonna say it anyway because I haven't got another one, which was I think it was just along the lines of whatever your life looks like, if you can find a few minutes every day to do something that is for you, that you love, that doesn't cost money. It shouldn't be something that costs money. It's just, even if it's 10 minutes of meditating or working out, but especially when you have children, it's very hard to do anything for you. And then I think that's how you end up getting frustrated or losing your identity, right? And I'll include relationship in that, right? Try and find time to just find some time to do something for you, or some time to do something for you and your partner. That even if it's just 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, just even a letter, a thought, a sentence, a text, right? I
Yeah,
think that is my positive message for the today.
I love that, and it makes all sense. Sometimes we get trapped in our routine, and we need to find a way for ourselves to, and when we have a partner, it's even more. You need to watch that even more because you need to find, and it's so healthy that as well. It's so healthy for you to be able to do that. So I get very good quote for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks again, regards to your kids, your family, to your wife and friends, and keep in touch. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you. Lovely
I
to meet
think
you.
in Canada sometime. Okay,
Yeah, let me know when you're in Montreal. Yeah.
take care. Okay, bye
Okay,
bye.
thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.